The bitter morass of loneliness. I remember being in a dark room, feeling like I'd fallen into a black hole of utter aloneness. The feeling of emptiness, total emptiness and separation, utterly and terminally alone. Cast adrift from everything and sucked into a void. Sexless and cynical, convinced that hell is not an inferno of eternal fire. Hell was the absence of love, and I was dragged into hell, the abyss. A lifetime of bad matches, infidelity, breakups, fights, broken possessions, slammed doors, and I hate you. Only to be trumped by a perpetual feeling of hopelessness. The moon is alone in the blackness. The moon alone in the dark. The moon has its time at night, ascending alone, untouched in the dark. It sits alone in the sky, borrowing light reflected from the sun, not always glowing. Half moon, crescent moon, sickle moon, half life, a crescent life, a sickle life. The moon longing for connection, but trapped in a perpetual airlessness, atmospherelessness, a solitary dance, orbiting an untouchable planet in a tiny galaxy, in a morass of empty space. The moon and I are celestial bodies in sync. The moon alone at night, like me. Alone in the darkness, untouchable. Celestial bodies, the moon and I. Separate yet connected. Somehow in the birth of the solar system, we were entwined in a lunar dance. Your full moon pulls my menses from the cocoon of my womb and flows a red river between my thighs. Because we are entwined. The cramps and connections mirror your created fate. The moon pulls from me my menses as we forever turn and cycle around the Earth's gravity. Research has found that most women's menstrual cycle aligned with the synodic month, the time it takes for the moon to cycle through its phases. If menstruation starts near the full moon, women's most fertile phase would occur near the new moon. The cycle has an impact on human reproduction and in particular fertility and menstruation. Just as the moon affects the ocean and the sea, just as the moon affects me, the moon's gravitational pull, we see its effect on the water of the ocean, tides of very long waves that move across the ocean. They are caused by gravitational forces exerting them on the moon. And when the highest point of the wave or the crest reaches the coast experiences a high tide. The Earth rotates through 2 tidal bulges every lunar day. The moon alone in the sky can cause waves to crash, break their crest, creating waves that will submerge them in the sobriety of their own divinity. If a moon alone can cause the ripples and waves and the back and forth of the tides, then surely I myself can cause my own waters to stir and move, my back to arch, my pussy to break its crest, reach a peak and retreat onto the shore of my own thighs. Surely my own wetness can flow like a tide with just the self as the moon at night, legs open as the night sky, waters of wetness rippling over silk sheets and causing high tide. Surrounded by luxurious fabrics with patterns of cherry blossom spread out on silken sheets, alone in the dark, a Himalayan salt crystal oil burner houses a candle whose flame flickers and dances, hot and full of lust beneath a glass dish filled with water and ylang-ylang. The heat of the candle causes the scented water to free itself and fly, float, become transcendental and carry itself in the air, filling the room with its delicious scent, open as a bud unfurling, the perfect seduction of the senses. The gentle sound of sensual massage music fills the air with relaxing mystical sound, bathing my auditory senses. Shea butter and almond oil mix, rubbed between my palms until liquid and oily. Start by anointing my own feet and ankles and calves and shins, and rubbing natural oils on my knees and my round thighs. Gently, slowly, I dip my fingers into the shea butter and rub my face, my arms, my belly, knead into my breasts, let out breaths and sigh as I breathe in the scented air and listened to the sound bathing me in bliss. Jade eggs, alone at night like the moon. Aromas fill the scented air like mist passing in front of a moonlight view. Hand circle vulva until high tide. The gem supreme, the jewel of heaven, is inserted inside my taut canal, sliding inside to rest near my G-spot. Squeeze and suck it in. Squeeze, release. Squeeze, release. Pulsing like waves, rippling on an ocean, whilst fingers circle like moon's revolutions. Jadestone has and always will be the gem supreme, the jewel of heaven, stone of the heart. Jadestone is also revered for its healing properties, has many meanings including luck, strength and good fortune. It's such good fortune that they make the yoni eggs from jade. Like waves of the ocean, whose currents grow stronger and stronger, my own undulation intensifies and gets stronger. I am rippling in delight, rhythmic as tides, back and forth motion of hand on clit, the pull and release of the supreme gem inside my sweet spot. My own pleasure ripples throughout my whole body, like I am becoming the ocean, and the jade egg my moon, bringing high tide. The rhythm of the fingers undulating on wet clit makes me break my crest and let out an intense moan as I realize my orgasmic being can be so beautiful at night, like the moon, alone in the darkness and utterly divine, tapping into the sacredness of your own sexuality. Clit is like the moon, a sheer pleasure and a delight, can cause a great tidal wave to break its crest. Clit is a companion to itself. Clit exists for pleasure, and with a round mirror, I observe the reflection of my clit on the mirrored glass, the way the moon reflects on the ocean surface, with reverence, with the knowing that the creator of all things, the creator of heaven and earth, made us utterly sublime. Moon, full and bulging. Moon thrives in the blackness of the night. My yoni thrives in the blackness of an obsidian wand, made of volcanic glass. Removing the jade egg, I can insert a yoni wand made of obsidian. When a volcano erupts, lava spills out. If the lava comes into contact with something cold like water, it crystallizes and turns into volcanic glass, obsidian. This volcanic glass is carved into a thick cylindrical wand designed to be curved. When inserted, it stimulates a G-spot and causes a volcanic eruption in me. Hotness, heat from deep within, bringing spectacular eruptions, shifting of tectonic plates and creating rivulets of bliss. Like a space mission to the moon, I went on a voyage of discovery, sending probes to explore the mysteries of the night, the voyage of self-discovery to the frontiers of pleasure, to become one with oneself, to fill the void with the knowledge of oneself as an orgasmic being. I learned that being an orgasmic being has nothing to do with how you look, how young you are, or who finds you attractive. Being an orgasmic being is who you really are. If you take time to discover yourself, to surrender to yourself, to be an offering unto yourself, to know yourself. When you are ready to find a partner, you can offer your orgasmic body, your goddessness, as an offering at the altar of the sacredness of your being. Your true, authentic, orgasmic self is as mesmeric as the moon itself. Erotic experiences all start with the self. If you have confidence in the self, if you can move into yourself, tap into your own sacred sexuality, your capacity to know joy is ever expanding. You can at some point spiritually connect with another being and let them share in your sacredness and in your goddessness. Remember, your body is your own, the way the moon belongs to itself. And being alone, or pleasure alone, is as serene as a full moon, or a half moon, or a sickle moon. We are all celestial bodies with forces that cause high tides and low tides and ripples and waves of pleasure and crests breaking, peak experiences and calm waters cause ripples, undulations, backwards and forwards rhythmic motions. This is an ode to the moon, to the self, to celestial solo sex. Sexing the self is a voyage into your own sacredness. Discover the treasure in the ocean of self.